If I had to start writing all over again in 2025, I'd do a lot of things differently. Not because I failed, but because I wasted years trying to figure out how to do it alone. And that was kind of the whole reason behind making this YouTube channel, to give you that guidance that I wanted when I was writing. I've been telling stories for over a decade, but the truth is the real breakthroughs only came in the last few years. That's when things really started to click, when writing became fun and consistent and actually good, I guess. So if you are just getting started, or if you're stuck and you're wondering what to do next, then this video is for you. These are the lessons I wish that I knew when I started writing. And if I could go back, here is exactly what I do differently. Where do you start your writing journey? Typically, it's by finding books that inspire you. And for me, that was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card when I was like 8 years old, maybe. But for you, it may be something more modern. It may be Harry Potter, it may be Hunger Games or 50 Shades of Grey. No judgment. The first thing I want to share with you, guaranteed to make you a stronger writer, is also the easiest. Let me explain. One of the most important skills to develop as a writer is looking at things that other people create and trying to understand why they did what they did. This is what I call reading intentionally, and the sooner you start doing this, the better. You read more, you should read widely, you should find the authors that inspire you, and you should try to figure out why that character was so great, why this plot twist works so well, or why you loved this world. So why don't I suggest that you just go out and buy a bunch of writing books? I mean, look at me, I read a writing book each month. I make a whole video about it. I don't think, though, that's how you should start. You don't need a book to tell you that Leo Tolstoy writes good prose and here's why, or that Ernest Hemingway was amazing. You can do that later as you expand more of your studies. Start with studying the writers and the books that you love. What can you learn from them? Pay attention and you'll learn a lot. So what next? In a perfect world, you would start a writing routine. And this is the number one most important thing in this entire video. Shut up, bird. The number one most important thing in this entire video. If you want to be a published author, traditionally published or self-published, creating a reliable writing routine will take you far. Because you can't be a writer without, say it with me, writing. And you'd be surprised at how easy it is to plan a story, to think about your story, to dream about your story without ever writing a word. There have been so many times that I've been frustrated at myself thinking, I haven't touched my story in 2 months. My book would be fully done if I had just sat down and wrote 500 words a day. And that's kind of easy for me to do. I can hit 500 words in 30 minutes. So why haven't I done it? Whether you like writing in the morning or in the evening, in your phone or long form on a notepad, in small bursts or hours at a time, just write. It's like exercise, right? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. A common, totally unfounded quote that's thrown around a lot is that 3% of people will finish that first draft that they start. So of 1,000 people who start writing that first draft, only 30 will actually complete it. Be one of those 30. Figure out what you need to do to write. Now, once you actually start writing, how do you grow as a writer? Well, right now, I think you're on the right track. There are so many resources now on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok of people who love writing and they want to share their tips. Use them. Specifically, find creators that you love, who think like you do, who are inspired by the same things you are, and follow them. Engage with them. This is the digital equivalent of joining a writing group or a community. Speaking of, find a community to join. I never really had that chance until I created the Discord for this channel, and I've been astounded at how great and useful and encouraging it has been. So you can join yourself using the link below. When you're away from your computer, consider podcasts too. I found that listening to a podcast on writing while I'm away from the computer typically gets me excited to go back to writing. And honestly, that's even more valuable than the actual writing advice in the podcast themselves. And while I think it is more beneficial to learn from those people that you more relate to, there are still great books on writing that you can go to eventually. You can check out my playlist for all of the recommendations, but I personally think that better relates to you. The best writing tool. Let me tell you about the best writing tool in the whole world. The best writing tool is the one that you currently have. If you have easy access to Google Docs, write in Google Docs. If you want to write in some old version of Microsoft Word, do it. Look at me. The tool does not make the writer. Almost all of my earliest writing was done on old second or third hand laptops that had open source versions of Microsoft Office. Shout out OpenOffice and LibreOffice. Is that how you pronounce it? Now, that being said, once you are actually writing stories, getting past those first 10,000 words reliably, I do think it is incredibly smart to invest in the writing tools that help you. And for me, that's Scrivener, right? It's got a generous free trial. It's a one-time payment and you own it forever. It's no subscription. But I like Scrivener because do you see this fly? I like Scrivener because it lets me organize stories in the way that my brain already works. So there may be a writing tool that you more relate with, but at some point consider investing in yourself if you have the means to do so. Okay, with all of that out of the way, what about advice for actually writing? Getting words on the page. If I was starting completely new, the first thing I would do is experiment. You'll get advice for things like you should be pantsing your way through a story, and you should be plotting and everything in between, but there's so much nuance underneath all of that. The only way to really figure out how you like to write is by trying new things. In our Discord community, which is linked below, we do writing challenges every now and then, and I give you an excuse to start and finish something. And hey, you may even win some special award. It's really fun. Those challenges are a great opportunity to try something new about your writing process. Every time I start a big project, I change something about my process, and it's just because something's worked for me in the past doesn't mean that I've found the best way for me to work, if that makes sense. But I will give you this advice. A lot of writing books will tell you that pantsing is the answer. Sitting down and writing with little to no plan. Stephen King does that, Anne Lamott does that. Well, I'm here to warn you that these people have decades of writing practice behind them, and if you're just starting, you likely don't. Successfully writing without a plot is built on like this huge foundation of understanding story. So just be mindful of that. Start your writing journey as someone who plans their story. And for a happy medium, maybe plan your plot and plan your setting and then write without planning your characters. You are much more likely to get through your story with all of that plot planned out. And if you never get through your story, then what was the point of it all anyway? Well, maybe you learned something. I don't know. So let's talk that first draft. The first draft that you write, what I call the proto draft, check out this video, is for you and no one else. It won't be the same quality of the books that you read, like from a publisher, because those books are the result of experienced writers and teams of editors and many rounds of editing. But the first draft isn't like that, but it is so much fun. After you have that first draft, you'll discover that there's also something incredible about refining something that you wrote, that you created, so that other people will love it too. It's a process with multiple steps. Some advice that I give out a lot is to set a lower word count for your first writing projects. You don't need to start with that multi-book fantasy series. I'm telling you, even if you're really passionate about it, I totally get it. Look, I've been sitting on a big series that I want to write, but I've been waiting until a time that I feel more confident and ready to tackle that project. Start by writing a 50,000 word novella. Even a 20,000 word story. The process of completing anything will teach you more about writing than any YouTube video ever could. And that extends out even more to writing characters and plot and prose and just everything about writing. The best way to get better is by writing. Lastly, share your writing. Once you're done, once you've edited that story into something that resembles what you have in your head, share your story with the world. Maybe you post it on Wattpad or Substack. Maybe you go through the steps to self-publish it on Amazon or Kobo. And if you're interested in getting your book traditionally published, that's a whole other discussion in itself. There are just so many more hoops to jump through. Self-publishing is a really good idea. You should check it out. So that's how I would do it all over again. I'd love for you to share some of your own tips below. And if you want more writing advice, more story breakdowns, and just fun writing content, then like this video and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching. It's a pen.